Yeah, I think we're live. Good that you're watching Video On Demand of our live reaction to the potential war table. Joyce is sadly not here. She is still on a holiday break. But Dennis, thanks for joining, of course.
You're welcome. So I'm sorry I'm not Joyce to everyone who's
No,
watching,
don't
because I
worry
feel
about
like
it.
this is more her ballpark than mine. But I'm gonna try my best to make it entertaining at the
No,
very least.
of course. We will be fine. We will be fine. Yeah, so we are currently in the situation where they said it's gonna be a war table for the Spider-Man DLC that's coming out tomorrow on November 30th. Of course, that's exclusive to PlayStation, while other things... Let's just watch, for example, something in the meantime. And they drew an outfit. That's nice. So so we don't know if it's gonna be like a more casual stream where they just like show the game or something, or if it's gonna be an actual war table like we saw for Black Panther and for a lot of other content drops. I think it's the latter, but we also have reason to believe that it might be different.
Yeah, I do agree with you, though. I also think it's the latter because they have a lot to explain when it comes to Spidey. Because they did, of course, show some gameplay, but we don't know. We know some basic stuff, but like seeing him in action for like longer clips, and also I don't think the footage that was provided wasn't 60 FPS, right? At least it didn't look like that to me.
No, I don't think so either.
Because I remember a lot of people were complaining about the fluidity of movement, and I think that also kind of played a part in that. So I kind of want to see what Spidey looks like in high def 60 FPS. And there's also, of course, another kind of big piece of content that's going to be dropping. That I assume they're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Which is the raid, which is something we've literally been waiting for since launch. And there was a raid, and like 2 people or 3 people got to play it, and then they were removed, never brought up again. But now they're back, or well, it is back. It's a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly kind of curious about that as well, because we did stream the like the first proper piece of end game content, the Omega thread
sector. Yeah, that was kind of
was it the Super Adeptoid? That was crazy, but I don't know about you. Didn't feel like crazy in a good way.
No, it was kind of over the top.
Didn't really.
And it was more like a damage check for you need to have certain power,
Exactly,
and then you can easily finish it. And if you don't have the good amount of damage, you will just die trying. Thanks everyone for joining. I see Time and Joyce here as well. That's nice. I'm here in chat and spirit. JorRaptor looks cooler than I imagined him to look. Are you now looking at Dennis or at me?
No, they're definitely. Just take the compliment, Jor.
So we're now looking at gameplay they already released. Yeah, I'm taking it. Thanks, soon, Comus Chaos. So we're gonna get new gameplay. It's gonna start in 7 minutes. Although we are like kind of okay, what is going to happen? I'm gonna do it like this because they are going to host something here. Hello. Are you doing something?
Not yet.
Or they might like show it on the Avengers sort of stream. So in the meantime, we're gonna look at the IGN footage they already released, or it was actually B-roll they provided to people.
Yeah.
And yeah, we totally had some critiques. I always think, and that's kind of what this game. I mean, the game always plays better than it looks. I think. So
yeah,
I'm sure this is going to be the case with Spider-Man as well. And this also did not look like a really like completely built out Spider-Man with like the best gear and stuff. And
no, because I remember you guys were talking about some pretty exciting like moves. Like there's one that you can web up your fist to like boxing gloves, but with spider webs. That sounds awesome. Yeah, but they didn't show that yet, I think. No. So
I mean, I want to keep some surprise, I guess, but I'm sure the war table will show more, more of the different things we can expect. But yeah, and of course we have like there are totally things that even sure it will play better than I think it looks. There are some things like the glass ceiling thing where if you like obviously like they show the city level right now, but there's also like a desert level and a forest where you cannot have the web go to like a tree all the time or something else. And in Spider-Man PS4, that would mean like if you walk through the park, you just could not use your webs. So that was pretty interesting, but that was just like a really small part of the map. And in this game, if they would have like your web stick to something all the time, it would mean that most of the time you're just not swinging, which would kind of suck. So I guess it makes sense that they're going for this invisible ceiling, but the downside of that seems to be that if you swing, you can hit that, so you're kind of losing momentum, that you cannot like go faster, which would kind of suck. So I'm curious how that will play out, but IGN wasn't really too happy about that, at least in their 2 hours they played. And I also think the drone sounds pretty cool, and I think it's fine that they have like a web ball as one ability, but then give like another ultimate, like have another like ball of webs go to the target as the ultimate.
It kind of feels to me like they're introducing a new status effect as well, right? The web status. I'm assuming that's something that's mostly in Spidey's ballpark. There might be gear, which also applies to status effect, but I feel like from a design perspective, they were mostly looking at how can we make every ability deal web damage, because even the drone webs people, if I'm not mistaken. So you have a support heroic that webs people, an assault heroic that webs people, and then your ultimate heroic, surprise, surprise, it also webs people.
For sure. That makes sense.
So that kind of feels, on the one hand, it makes sense because it's of course a new thing, but on the other hand, I feel like there are other things they could have looked at to perhaps make it less on the new status effect and more Spidey. Because I mean, I'm not an expert in Spider-Man, and Joyce can correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but just grabbing a huge ball of spider webs and slamming it on the ground doesn't necessarily feel classic Spidey to me.
No, it's,
So, but then again, on the other hand...
Maybe we change that as well with skills.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that would be cool, but I doubt it. But I would have loved to see like a gadget, like another type of gadget instead. Or I think that
for sure.
Would have been cooler.
But you are correct that the skills are pretty moddable. So maybe we'll see some different things. Maybe we'll see some different things in the war table. Who knows?
Yeah. So the war table should drop in 3 minutes. This is not for people who are like, what the heck? This is not the
This is not new.
This is not it yet. And it's dropping. I see some people talk about it. It's dropping tomorrow, and we will be streaming it live as well. Because we also know that there's no story content, and I get that some people are kind of sad about that, but I think as soon as they took the deal to make it a PlayStation exclusive, I guess to make sure they already got some money before they even sold the game, which is nice because the game wasn't like a huge financial success. Maybe when it's all said and done, because of course every outfit they sell for like $10 is like 90% revenue maybe, or like a profit. So you would think that maybe by the time it's all said and done, they did make a profit on this game. Otherwise, they would not really continue. But yeah, I think it makes sense that there are no story missions, because then everyone on Xbox and PC would be like, okay, sure, we did not get this character, but now we're also missing out on actual cool content, right? And like, I think they also said we want to do more hero events. And I think that's like a good way for them to more quickly add characters, that you're not like, okay, we need to have multiple story missions as well before we can actually release a character, because She-Hulk has been like rumored for a really long time. That also seems like someone you just want to like add to the game instead of maybe have her own like big story.
And I think on top of that, the characters were always the strongest part of the game. Like, the things I enjoyed most were the new character releases. And, you know, as cool as the sort of story is with an expanding roster of Avengers, which we kind of also had in the MCU, but now it's also in a video game. That's cool, especially for Marvel fans. But I think, especially from a gameplay perspective, them introducing new characters with like new skill sets and new builds to try out and stuff like that has been the stronger suit. So I'm actually kind of in favor of them adding more heroes with less to go with it, if that makes sense. Because, you know, the game does need some new areas from time to time, and it does need some new content, but I do think that the most variety in gameplay you're going to get with new characters.
Yeah, but maybe then just add like because what we saw with Hawkeye, for example, was like a whole new area as well. Like, just add that, but just maybe do not like the big story stuff around it. Like, in a perfect world, I would have loved to have everything. But I really think like the focus for the Black Panther stuff Okay, now they're gonna talk. Let's see what they're
There we
gonna
go.
talk about.
Can you see us?
I hope
can
it's
you hear
Spider-Man.
us?
Okay,
My
so
body is ready.
I'm gonna
I see that.
check real quick if the war table is live, because then
Hello,
we're just gonna
hi.
watch it like that instead of
Hi,
like
everyone.
through their stream.
Thank you. Had a great time in Ireland. I think Phil might have missed me, but I don't.
Okay, no,
No,
it's not live
for
at least.
sure.
on
Totally
YouTube.
missed you.
Did you miss me?
Kidding? Absolutely.
Aw.
Like one of my favorite.
Yeah, they
people.
said that we're gonna
Well, I
debut
missed you
it
too, Phil.
here, so I assume
all right,
that means they're gonna show it here for the
Yeah.
first
How
time, and then
is
it's gonna be up.
everyone doing today? Got lots of let's go. Today's the day. Awesome. We're super excited. Obviously, today is the watch party for the holiday content war table, where we're going to be showing more of Spider-Man, more of the Claw Raid, and you guys might recognize the voice of who's talking about the Claw Raid once we premiere the war table. We're going to be talking to Sean
I think it's gonna be
Chiplop,
the
who's the
Spidey
voice
voice actor.
actor for our version of Spider-Man in
would
Marvel's
be cool.
Avengers.
Yeah.
And then we are going to be talking to our combat team to discuss a little bit more about Spider-Man, what he can do. I think I'm going to show a few more emotes, too, during that section. So
Spidey emotes?
that's going to
Okay.
be fun.
I really
Nicole-
hope the pointing is
Nicole's
there
saying
so we can
hi.
do the Spider-Man meme in the game.
Yeah, I think they already did a GIF
alright,
for that
so-
on Twitter.
With
Oh,
that
good,
said,
good.
you guys ready for the war table? We're just gonna get straight to it.
let's
Phil,
do
you
it.
ready for the war table?
Oh, nice. We're diving
I'm
straight
so
in. That's
ready,
good.
I put myself in
Is
it.
Superman coming out as Batman?
Exactly. All right, so let's
One
do
day.
the war
This is
table.
the
We will
most
see you
ambitious
guys
crossover
after
of
the
all
war
time.
table is done. It's probably going to be like 12, 13 minutes,
Okay,
but Phil and
not
I will
bad.
try and be very, very quiet so you guys can actually watch it.
Okay, let's.
right.
Let's.
I'm
do
going to
it.
mute ourselves.
Let's
Phil,
do
I'm
the
going to mute
thing.
you right now.
Yep.
I'm going to mute myself as well. Let's do this.
Okay, I'm happy that it's like an actual war table.
Yep.
There we go.
We're good. We're good.
Let's know if the audio is, by the way, good or not, so we can switch it up. Shrek is after Spider-Man soon.
Rex already in the game. Unlockable
Oh, yeah.
skin for the Hulk.
What? My name was that.
That was Claw.
He's alive.
Wakanda will fall the way it rose. With vibranium.
Can I come in now?
Hey guys, we have a visitor. Spider-Man's been fighting baddies in New York for like ever.
AIM's working on something big. Like chemical weapons big.
That is some story content though, so... Or it's like more an intro maybe to the raid.
Avengers, assemble.
A new threat emerges in Wakanda that will test the strongest teams. So it's time to reassemble your friends and bring your A game. Welcome to a special Marvel's Avengers War Table Deep Dive focusing on what's coming in our patch 2.2. Starting tomorrow, players on all platforms can venture into
Not
our
even
first
HD.
raid, Discordant Sound. Take on Claw in a brand new endgame Avengers Initiative adventure that will require coordination from your high-level strike team now more than ever. Also included in 2.2 are improvements across the game to systems like gear, cosmetics, and missions.
Where's Spidey?
PlayStation
Oh, he's
4
not.
and 5 players can also play Spider-Man fighting alongside the Avengers with your friends. Let's get started with a first look at Discordant Sound.
Hey there, I'm Phil Therian, Gameplay Director for Marvel's Avengers. The new raid Discordant Sound is endgame content designed to challenge the highest level strike teams and is unlike anything you've encountered before in the game. With that said, there are some mild spoilers for the War for Wakanda expansion ahead, so you have been warned. As you and your
I'll turn
friends
off the stream, I
descend
have to
into the
finish that
Great
content,
Mound,
yeah.
you'll face elite enemies and puzzles that will require serious coordination to progress. Our story picks up directly after the events of War for Wakanda. The newly appointed Queen Regent Shuri informs Black Panther and the Avengers of a grave new threat. Corrupted vibranium has infested the Great Mound and is beginning to spread through the Wakandan jungle, revealing that the Sonic Monster Claw has returned. Our heroes decide to enter the Great Mound only to find it swarming with Claw's forces and a large sonic barrier preventing anyone from getting inside. With the fate of their country hanging in the balance, Wakanda's greatest warriors must join forces with Earth's mightiest heroes to stop the Mammoth Claw from destroying Wakanda. Strike teams who brave the Great Mound's dangers will encounter all new threats never seen before in Marvel's Avengers. Teams will have to explore and solve cooperative puzzle rooms while defeating some of our most difficult encounters in an experience that will challenge both your mind and combat skills.
At least something we haven't seen
to the mount
before.
yourself to find all its secrets. But here's just a taste of what you can expect when we open the doors to the raid tomorrow.
Yeah, new enemies is pretty wild. Hope they add them to the other parts of the game too.
I'm already gonna memorize these runes. They're gonna be important.
Yeah, okay, good.
You can already tell. We're gonna need callouts for those.
Unique reward.
There's like a unique exotic set you can get, I think.
And it's nice that you can just like repeat it and get the exotic every time. I think
Yeah,
it
for
still has,
sure.
like,
In
a
addition to bringing
weekly
players
reward,
our
but-
first ever raid, we're also making some major updates to the game systems. For the first time, Marvel's Avengers is raising the maximum power level that your
Thanks,
heroes
Boris.
can achieve. Until now, heroes have maxed out at a power level of 150, but the changes coming in 2.2 will allow heroes to reach a new maximum of 175.
That's pretty wild.
There are a few ways to reach the new power level cap, but it won't be easy. You'll need dedication and persistence. Rewards from the Omega level threat family reunion and Discordant Sound weekly objectives can now be 10 levels higher, up to power level 150. As always, a fully boosted major artifact can grant you 10 extra levels.
That's 160.
Once you've hit power level 160, you'll unlock the elite version of Discordant Sound, which rewards gear up to the new power level hard cap. Lastly, we're excited to say you no longer have to pick a single hero to gear up at a time, as the weekly objectives, the Omega level threat and raid, are now completable once per week with each hero. To help you max your characters
That's a really
as
good
efficiently as
improvement.
possible, new weekly objectives for the Omega level threat family reunion and Discordant Sound will reward players with gear that will be guaranteed to be a higher power level until you hit the cap for those objectives. In addition to raising the power level cap, updates to the gear system are also on the way. Until now, gear has only been upgradable by 10 power levels. Starting tomorrow, our new system will allow you to upgrade any piece of gear that starts at power level 100 and epic rarity or higher an unlimited number of times until it
very good.
reaches the power level cap.
That's
If
really
you've been
interesting.
holding on to an underpowered piece of gear with the perfect rolls for your build, now you can ensure it stays usable as you make your way to the new max power level.
Rip to
We're
all the
also
gear you already
simplifying the way that you
dismantled.
use resources to upgrade gear.
I don't
Starting
want to
with
talk about that
2.2,
right now.
the only resources you'll need to upgrade a piece of gear are fragments, upgrade modules, and an unwanted higher level piece of gear. The cost to upgrade a piece of gear will increase the higher the target power level. Finally,
Okay,
we're
so they're
introducing an exciting new way to
practically adding
collect and
item
earn some of our
infusion.
Yeah.
coolest cosmetics with our brand new
Interesting.
shipment system. Shipments will contain a randomized collection of cosmetics and resources that update on a rotating basis, with any duplicates of cosmetics you've already unlocked converted into fragments. You'll be able to buy shipments with earnable units or earn a free one every day through multiplayer play. There's no guesswork though. You'll be able to see everything in a shipment before you spend your hard-earned units on it. Best yet, opening enough shipments in a cycle will guarantee a top-tier reward. Check out our patch notes on the blog at playavengers.com for full details on these and other exciting changes.
Ooh.
PlayStation players, assemble your team of Avengers.
New update grinds.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
is joining
time.
your roster.
It's gonna be a big
Our
grind
team
for
has been
everyone.
But they
hard at
also
work
make the
crafting
grind
an all-new
easier.
hero event
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Marvel's Avengers exclusively for PlayStation.
There he is.
The high-flying wall crawler brings a completely new experience to the Avengers with an acrobatic combat style and a suite of new powers, making him
Only
a
on
great way to
PlayStation.
see the entire Avengers initiative through a new mask. In the Spider-Man with Great Power Hero event, Peter Parker learns of a deadly plot and must partner with the Avengers to stop AIM from acquiring technology that could make their synthoid army unstoppable. Insistent on keeping his identity hidden, Spider-Man forms a tentative friendship with Miss Marvel and Black Widow while learning the new dynamic of working in a team. With a threat so grave that no superhero could face it alone, Spider-Man must team up with the Avengers to face his new challenge head-on. Our Peter Parker is in his early 20s. He's responsible to a fault, lighthearted but distant, and bears the burden of his double life as Spider-Man. A gifted chemical engineer, Peter is recruited for an internship with AIM alongside his smart and savvy classmate Liz Allen. However, Peter soon begins to suspect AIM of mistreating Inhumans, leading him to seek out the Avengers' help as Spider-Man. When his quest to expose AIM uncovers the involvement of Allen Chemical, Liz becomes Spider-Man's eyes and ears and finds her loyalty to her family tested. Jumping right into the With Great Power Hero event is simple, whether you've been playing since launch or you've just picked up the game. Click the option from the war table within the Avengers Initiative. You don't need to play through the original Reassemble campaign or any previous operations to unlock Spider-Man as a playable hero. You'll be able to take on new Spidey-specific challenges and earn Spider-Man-themed rewards to help you and your team in the fight. Spider-Man offers unique gameplay options that make him stand out from our other heroes, which you'll experience firsthand from the moment you pick up the controller and begin traversing biomes with his signature web slinging, wall running, and wall crawling.
Yeah.
Core to Spider-Man's gameplay are his webs. Not only can you
that's
use
way
them to
higher
swing
than
and zip anywhere,
in the
but
IGN footage.
combat to quickly reach
What the
enemies,
heck?
maneuver enemies to his
They
advantage,
hacked their own game.
and to web up enemies. Spider-Man brings a unique status effect to the game with his web shooters. All of his web-based attacks build up a web status meter on enemies. Once the meter is full, enemies become webbed, immobilizing them and making them more vulnerable to attacks from all the Avengers.
Okay, so
all
that
of Spider-Man's
does work on
ranged
that
attacks
point.
and
That's
heroics
great.
build up web status, and his mastery tree and gear allow players to further customize the effects of the web status debuff. Combined with his ability to perform takedowns regularly, Spider-Man becomes an excellent support option for your team of heroes.
Okay, I
the
can
Spider
already see
Skirmish
being
light
very
combo is
useful in
designed
the
to build
raid.
up stun damage and juggle enemies
like
in
there's
the
a
air.
dangerous enemy.
Pair it with his
stick 'em
signature
up.
attack Take to the Sky to launch enemies up and continue the air combo. While on the wall, Predator Instincts gives you the ability to perform a powerful leaping punch that deals bonus impact damage. Evade an enemy attack while the Spider Sense warning is visible to activate defensive armor. Evade at the
Kinda
last
perfect
second
dodge,
to perform a
yeah.
perfect evade, which leaves the enemy vulnerable to follow-up attacks.
I mean,
While
all
dodging,
their heroes
use
kind of
Think
have that.
Fast to perform a low spinning kick that can trip enemies, making them easier to combo. Or Double Fire to quickly build up web status on the enemy. Quick
Why did
reflexes
they not
and
show
web
these
counter are
freaking
stronger
moves
versions
in
of
that
these
other
attacks
This
and
is
can be
way better.
performed after a perfect evade. The Wreckage skill is Spidey's intrinsic meter that charges up by dealing out melee damage and avoiding enemy attacks that drain it. Once the meter is full, Spider-Man can perform a takedown on an enemy without having to stun them, even if the enemy is in the air.
What?
Both his assault and support
That
heroics
is
are heavily
broken.
reliant on his technical expertise and gadget-making skills. His web bomb assault heroic is used to web up large groups of enemies, while
very
his
nice.
spider drone support heroic zips around the battlefield, laying down cover fire with web projectiles. Upgrades improve damage output or provide defensive bonuses like willpower regeneration and defensive armor. The ultimate heroic Wrecking Ball
upgrade
creates a
that drone.
massive ball of webs that slams into the ground, smashing enemies under it and knocking back nearby foes. Once upgraded, Intrinsic Energy auto-generates, allowing Spidey to use his wreckage skills more often. Triggering the ultimate heroic also provides a heroic buff that reduces damage
there it
and
is. We have it.
increases damage dealt.
Yep, there it is.
Spider-Man is a hero with the same amount of
Yeah,
depth
spider
as our
gloves.
on-disc Avengers. You'll be able to collect up to 40 new
40.
outfits, including
Whoa!
these.
Awesome.
Whoa! Hello!
Spider-Man's unique personality is captured in over 20 emotes you can unlock. Many of these can be earned through gameplay, but players can also purchase cosmetics of their favorite heroes. Our first year has brought great changes to our story and the Avengers Initiative. Our journey began with Kamala's single-player story and advanced with both Kate and Clint operations, and our War for Wakanda expansion. Our roster continues to grow, creating exciting and better experiences for teams of players to live out their heroic dreams. Now it's time for you and your crew to test your mettle against Claw, and for PlayStation players to take your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for a spin. As always, thank you for telling us what you think. Make sure to visit
Thank you for
playavengers.com
telling us
for our
what you
weekly
think.
blog, where you can find everything from patch notes to tips and fun content that you created. Until then, we'll see you online and in the game.
I just, why are they streaming this at 600? I don't know, I didn't even know this was like a thing. 648p.
That is a weird resolution.
I was like, I mean, even for me, it was like kind of blocky. So I hope that they now uploaded the 4K version. Come on, dudes.
Yeah. I want to see it again in better quality because
Yeah,
that
me
actually
too.
got me
Me
more
too.
excited than I thought.
Hey, there they have the
Hey.
Spideys. That's a cool one. We're gonna mimic that
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we're gonna
during
have
the
to.
stream. No web swimming. There is swinging. Yeah, there is, Omar. But yeah, they did not really focus on it because I think that is actually one of the weaker points of this Spider-Man because the webs don't stick to like objects. But we did go way higher. I want to go to that part now.
Yeah, I want to see that again because that looked like it was way higher.
Yeah, and
I was just
wanna see it
very
in
impressed
4K.
by the.
It's live,
variety
it's
of
live.
Hi,
combat
everyone.
moves. Okay.
It's live. We're gonna go back. Hi everyone. Goodbye everyone. Okay.
Rude.
Come on.
Give us the Spider-Man.
I saw it on my mobile. Can I like Marvel's Avengers and like do Lost Hour? There we go. 4K.
There it is.
Yes. Oh wow. It's shiny.
Give us so much better. Thank you,
Why
Yor.
did they not like I know you can like not stream in 4K, but still.
Do the Thanos meme? Fine, I'll do it myself.
Wow. This looks way better. Come
It's
on.
better. So forget that reaction. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do it all over.
Yeah, okay. No, but this is already more story content than I expected, to be fair.
Yeah, because there are actually cutscenes with Spidey.
Yeah,
which
I did not
wasn't
expect that. It seems more a bit like, a less like I mean, Kate Bishop had it kind of as well because she also did not have any new areas. So you also had like a lot of the
They
here.
did
this is
introduce a new
way
hub
higher.
area. Yeah, this is way higher.
But yeah, I do
For
think it's
sure.
gonna be you talking to the Avengers. Yeah, and then you have the harm. I don't think it's like going to be. I think they already showed everything that there is in this video. That's what I kind of mean. Like you have these conversations
probably.
here, and that's kind of it. I think.
I assume there's like an end of mission cutscene that they're skipping on right now, but apart from that, probably. But still, that's more than I was expecting. So it's a pleasant surprise.
I'm actually kind of hyped to play him now, especially the skills. Let's skip here. This is swinging like it. Of course, they're only showing the city levels. Like we have to keep that in mind. Like I'm sure they're like this makes the most sense here. This is like sticking to nothing. Like this is like sticking to that gloss ceiling. There's nothing here, but it makes sense for the game. And yeah, it will be kind of weird if we tomorrow go to like a forest area. I'm sure it will kind of feel weird.
On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, I feel like, because I've seen this a lot, I've read the comments in the Spidey video as well. If you're comparing this to Insomniac, which of course you're free to do that if you want to, but you have to keep in mind that was an entire game designed around playing one character. Of course, everything that character does is gonna be optimized. This wasn't optimized for one character, and therefore you have to make some sacrifices. But what I'm pretty impressed with, and I think you're kind of referring to that too, is actually the variety of moves that he has to use in combat and the skills as well, and also kind of like the strategic edge this is going to bring, because I already said it during the stream, but I think that web status effect is going to be really useful in like something like the raid. If you see like a large group of enemies show up and you're like, all right, they're two adaptoids, they're dangerous, you just drop a web bomb on them, now they're stuck, they can't do anything. You can take out the little guys and then you can focus on the two big guys
Real quick,
because they are
Chris,
stuck. Yeah, sure.
Chris did a sub for 11 months and he has to go, so see you later. If you
thank you so much.
If you're excited for the Spider-Man tomorrow, we will be streaming it the moment it goes live tomorrow. So I hope to see you there, Chris. But like I'm just kind of like stunned that they went with the IGN footage they showed, because the gameplay that they are seeing here, like there is way more variety to the moves. His movement is way more fluid. We have the spider sense actually. I don't think I saw that. Like, maybe I missed it, but it was like not a big focus. But I don't know if they should have gone with the preview last week, because if this was the first gameplay we saw, I think that would have already been a way better.
Yeah, people would have been more positive.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Wow. Yeah, I'm curious, and of course we saw more outfits. Like, of course, he will be a free character, and that's awesome that you just can jump in. Like, if you're like super a Spider-Man fan and wanna jump back into the game. The game is actually quite cheap right now, and you get all this stuff for free. But of course, unlike Marvel Spider-Man from Insomniac, there will be some earnable outfits, I'm sure, but most of them, as we see right here, will be paid.
Look at that one, though.
Oh, yeah. They look awesome.
Trenchcoat Spider-Man.
So, yeah. I'm excited to jump in tomorrow, and we will be...
I'm more excited for tomorrow than I was 20 minutes ago, so that's a good sign.
And real quick about the raid, we of course saw that a bit as well. What is your take on what we saw?
I like the fact that it looks like it's going to be more mechanic heavy, because that was my main criticism with the other endgame content, the Omega level threat, is that it's everything the same, but the numbers are higher. There's just, you need to do more damage. There's more attacks coming at you. There's more status effects being dealt out. Whereas this looks like there's going to be tough fights, but there's also going to be mechanics that you need to cooperate with, for. That's, of course, also always a big thing. But like I said, I can already see, like, these runes. There's going to be something with that, and you're going to have to activate them, but in a specific order. And I like the whole figuring that out part and working together way more than just, making a build that deals insane amounts of damage and basically use a boss as like a large test dummy.
I really hope they get the balance right, because I think for the Super Adaptoid the balance wasn't really right, but because what you saw was that people who were like really into the game, they had like a Hawkeye build where in like I think a few seconds or 30 seconds they could like just nuke the boss and skip all his phases, while we are just jumping in for these updates.
We pretty much made it because he glitched out.
Yeah, we made it because he glitched out at the end, because otherwise we were just wiping and there was like no real understanding of what was going on. So I hope there's a balance here where even if you like that we're not like unable to like clear this or go through this, even if we know the sort of puzzles, because that's what I'm kind of afraid of. That, sure, we memorize everything, we know what to do, but the enemies will just hit too hard, and then we're like, of course, you need to have some sort of power, that you need to reach, but save that more for the elite version, I would say, and then...
I was gonna say, the fact that exists gives me more hope that... the normal version is probably going to be made harder because of the mechanics, but will not also have the insane enemy scaling that Omega level threat had. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting off of the fact that there's also an elite version.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, this will certainly, at least, like, we will be playing tomorrow. Of course, I think the system we're getting there now are great too. Like, I really think, and we said it during previous videos as well, this game will build and build, and in 1 year, I think it's actually quite significant what they did if you don't compare it to like other live service games. But if you compare it to, I think it's more akin of an Assassin's Creed Valhalla or a Borderlands instead of like a Destiny. And then I think in 1 year they added multiple heroes, 4, right? Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Black Panther, and now Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of story content. Like I still think, and I always thought that even when the game came out, them releasing that all for free, if you even bought the game full price at launch and just jump in to play the new stuff when it comes out, I think like it will get a better deal over time, and it will only get cheaper as well. So the real problem I think is gonna be with this is that the new content is for really high players, while Spider-Man is for the new players. And if you're not like super hardcore like we are in some games, I don't think we're gonna like grind out to 175, do the elite rate. I'm curious what there will be for us for the people who want to check out Spider-Man, but likely will realize after maybe leveling him up that we will be doing the same missions over and over again in order to get him higher up. So yeah, I really think this is more of a nice update when we look back at things, when they have more like mission structure and stuff ironed out. This is just like a good step in the right direction, but this is not like gonna turn the tide. I think it's gonna have, for people who are like super into it, they will have way more stuff to do. For us who are just like checking the game out, I think we'll have a great time tomorrow with Spider-Man. I don't know if we will like go back every week to do like the weeklies and stuff like that.
No, I agree. But like still, it is always nice to return to this game. Like every time when we return, I do have fun, like genuinely.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, after seeing this, I'm definitely excited for tomorrow, and I'm also really looking forward to trying the raid with you and with Joyce.
For sure. Yeah, we will see if we. Rex was also in the chat. He also was.
Talking the real carry. Awesome.
So thanks everyone for joining. Of course, we will back tomorrow with a Spider-Man stream where I'm actually playing the game. We will see how that goes. So hope to see you then. We will have more content, of course, coming your way. Thanks for watching, sticking with us, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.